In a recent and controversial statement, a prominent American political scientist, John Mearsheimer, made a provocative comparison involving two global leaders. During a podcast, Mearsheimer asserted that if the infamous Nuremberg trials were conducted in today's world, former U.S. President Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, along with their advisors, would face severe punishment for their alleged crimes. This claim, originally reported by Iranian media outlet Press TV, has sparked intense debate and raised questions about contemporary international relations and military actions. The Nuremberg trials, held in the aftermath of World War II, were pivotal in prosecuting key figures of the Nazi regime for war crimes and crimes against humanity. By invoking this historical reference, Mearsheimer's remarks allude to the gravity of the alleged actions by Trump and Netanyahu. He specifically criticized the United States and Israel for their military actions against Iran and in Gaza, describing them as acts of aggression. Mearsheimer's comments come in the wake of heightened tensions between the U.S., Israel, and Iran. This backdrop of geopolitical tension has been marked by a series of confrontational actions. The U.S. military's recent operations, particularly Operation Epic Fury, have been a focal point. This operation was launched against Iran, which has long been labeled by the U.S. as a major state sponsor of terrorism. The military campaign, which began a month ago, has reportedly led to significant destruction of Iran's military capabilities. In a public address, Trump declared that the campaign had resulted in swift, decisive, overwhelming victories, leaving Iran's Navy in disarray, its Air Force debilitated, and significant losses among its leadership. The narrative of military supremacy and strategic victories was further bolstered by Trump's assertion of the U.S. as military might, which he claims has been the strongest in history following significant rebuilding efforts during his first term. He praised the U.S. troops for their rapid and decisive actions, not only in Iran, but also in the context of Venezuela, where he claimed a swift takeover had occurred. Trump emphasized the newfound partnership with Venezuela, particularly in the oil and gas sector, highlighting a shift towards energy independence from the Middle East. The military actions against Iran are framed by Trump as a necessary measure to prevent the nation from acquiring nuclear weapons. He stated that his administration had taken unprecedented steps to thwart Iran's nuclear ambitions, including the controversial killing of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani and the termination of the Iran nuclear deal established under former President Barack Obama. Trump criticized the deal as disastrous, arguing that it would have paved the way for Iran to develop an arsenal of nuclear weapons. Trump's rhetoric is steeped in a narrative of defense and protection with a focus on maintaining global security and safeguarding American interests. He underscored the threat posed by Iran's regime, which he accused of longstanding hostility and acts of terror against the U.S. and its allies. The depiction of Iran as a fanatical regime chanting death to America and advocating for the destruction of Israel serves to justify the military interventions and the broader strategic goals of his administration. These developments have far-reaching implications for international diplomacy and regional stability. The escalation with Iran and the strategic moves in Venezuela signify a shift in U.S. foreign policy priorities and alliances. Critics argue that the aggressive stance may exacerbate tensions and provoke further conflict, while supporters contend that it demonstrates a commitment to confronting global threats head-on. The complex interplay of military strategy, diplomatic negotiations, and international law continues to shape the discourse around these actions. As the situation unfolds, the global community watches closely, weighing the potential outcomes and the broader impact on the international order. The claims made by Mearsheimer and the ensuing military actions underscore the ongoing challenges and controversies in navigating the intricate landscape of global politics and security. The political landscape involving the United States, Israel, and Iran is marked by complex historical tensions, strategic military maneuvers, and controversial diplomatic engagements. This intricate web of geopolitics has recently been thrust into the spotlight following comments made by John Mearsheimer, a prominent American political scientist who drew a provocative parallel between contemporary leaders and historical war criminals. Mearsheimer's assertion that former U.S. President Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, along with their advisors, would face prosecution akin to the Nuremberg trials if such proceedings were held today, has ignited debate and controversy. The Nuremberg trials, a cornerstone in the history of international law, served as the judicial reckoning for key figures of the Nazi regime after World War II, holding them accountable for war crimes and crimes against humanity. By invoking this historical reference, Mearsheimer underscores the severity of the alleged actions by Trump and Netanyahu, suggesting a moral and legal equivalence to those prosecuted in the mid-20th century. This comparison is rooted in ongoing criticisms of U.S. and Israeli military operations, particularly those targeting Iran and the Gaza Strip, which Mearsheimer characterizes as acts of aggression. Recent geopolitical developments have exacerbated these tensions. The United States, under the leadership of former President Trump, launched Operation Epic Fury, a military campaign targeting Iran, long labeled by the U.S. as a major state sponsor of terrorism. This operation, which commenced a month ago, reportedly resulted in the widespread destruction of Iran's military infrastructure. Trump, in a public address, lauded the operation's outcomes, stating that it had led to swift, decisive, overwhelming victories, effectively dismantling Iran's naval capabilities, crippling its air force, and resulting in significant casualties among its leadership. This declaration of military dominance is a testament to Trump's broader strategy of showcasing U.S. military strength and securing perceived national security threats. The narrative of military superiority is complemented by Trump's remarks on the U.S. military's readiness and prowess, achievements he attributes to his administration's efforts to rebuild and strengthen the armed forces. He boasts of the military's capability, asserting never in the history of warfare has an enemy suffered such clear and devastating large-scale losses in a matter of weeks. This rhetoric not only aims to galvanize domestic support, but also to project U.S. power on the global stage. Trump's discourse extends beyond Iran, reflecting broader geopolitical ambitions. He highlights the swift military intervention in Venezuela, portraying it as a successful operation that established the U.S. as a dominant partner in the region. This intervention narrative is intertwined with economic interests, particularly in the oil sector, where Trump describes a burgeoning partnership with Venezuela, emphasizing energy independence and strategic resource control. Central to Trump's foreign policy narrative is his unwavering stance against Iran's nuclear ambitions. Since the inception of his presidential campaign, Trump has consistently vowed to prevent Iran from acquiring nuclear weapons, citing the regime's history of hostility towards the U.S. and its allies. He accuses Iran of sponsoring terrorism and engaging in violent acts that threaten regional stability and international security. Trump's administration took significant steps, including the assassination of Iranian military leader General Qasem Soleimani and the withdrawal from the Iran nuclear deal, actions he defends as necessary measures to thwart Iran's nuclear aspirations. The withdrawal from the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, commonly known as the Iran nuclear deal, is a focal point in Trump's foreign policy legacy. He criticizes the deal as fundamentally flawed, arguing that it would have facilitated Iran's development of nuclear weapons. By terminating the agreement, Trump positioned himself as correcting what he viewed as past diplomatic failures, despite widespread international criticism and concern over the potential for escalating tensions. In his address, Trump recounts the military operations undertaken to disrupt Iran's nuclear program, specifically mentioning Operation Midnight Hammer, which targeted key nuclear facilities. He claims these actions were unprecedented in scale and effectiveness, asserting that they delivered a significant blow to Iran's nuclear capabilities. This narrative of decisive military action is framed as a necessary response to Iran's refusal to abandon its nuclear ambitions, despite diplomatic overtures. As tensions persist, the international community remains divided on the efficacy and morality of these military interventions. Critics argue that such actions risk further destabilizing the region and may exacerbate anti-American sentiments. Meanwhile, supporters maintain that assertive military strategies are essential to safeguarding national security and deterring potential threats. In conclusion, the interplay of military strategy, diplomatic maneuvering, and geopolitical rivalry continues to shape the complex relations between the United States, Israel, and Iran. Mearsheimer's provocative comparison, while controversial, highlights enduring questions about the ethics of statecraft and the legal frameworks governing international conflict. As these nations navigate a fraught geopolitical landscape, the implications of their actions resonate far beyond the immediate theaters of conflict, influencing global perceptions and shaping the future of international relations.